This is the United Uprising channel. Welcome to today's show. I have covered this thing known as NEOM. It is also known as the Line. It is this giant imprisonment city, of course, that they are building out in Saudi Arabia. And they are also building out in people's minds the illusion that this giant city is going to be a place of freedom. It's going to be good for the environment. It's going to be fun. Everybody's going to have their own space. You're going to literally be locked in a cubicle, aka jail cell, where you're going to work, you're going to sleep, and you're going to get a little bit of recess time outside to see the sun. But of course, your carbon footprint's going to be real important here. So you're pretty much always going to be locked inside of this building. We've seen predictive programming. We've seen shows like The Westworld that I've covered in the past constantly show us this exact thing, where we see a city indoors, people living in it, trees. People are like, "Whoa, look, it's futuristic." It is the future prison cell. They are building this out with billions and billions of dollars. And people who have heard about this city called the Line have said in the past, well, it's just something that they're talking about. Yeah, I've covered this over and over again to show you that it's being built. And now we're getting closer to the completion of this. I'm going to show you the latest video that they just uploaded, where they're literally showing you what looks like a FEMA camp where we're all supposed to live, which is going to house 100,000 people. And everybody is going to be within 4 hours of one another, because they're taking this land and they are making it into a giant prison where they're trying to make it seem like it's the best thing for everybody. It's a peaceful world. It's a utopian, dystopian hell. So I'll show you the video in a second. I want to make sure you know that I have a lot of videos that are up on this channel if you haven't seen them yet, but I'm going to be uploading next week on an Eye for an Eye and this channel. So if you're not subscribed to the Eye for an Eye channel, if you've come upon this channel and you haven't subbed to that one, make sure you do that now. I have a lot of new content going up this week on that channel, this channel, and a call for vengeance. I need your help in building out. So the channels are linked below. If you're watching this on United Uprising, that's where this is. So you're on United Uprising. Make sure you're subbed to those other ones. I hate to have to constantly remind people, but this is how much I'm censored. This is what I have to do. So I hope you'll do this with me. Click the links below now. Check and make sure you're subbed, so you don't miss out on any content. It's one thing to be able, to look and say, hey, I don't want to watch this video the guy uploaded or that video he uploaded. That's perfectly fine. They don't want you to see any of this stuff. They don't even have the choice to pick which videos of mine, to watch. They don't want you to see it. Okay, so that's why I have to jump around it. It's annoying for you. It's annoying for me. But please just make sure you're subbed to them all right now if you're not yet. Okay, so this video of NEOM, they just uploaded in October, less than a month ago, where they're showing you the construction of this city that they're building. Now, remember, there's two things going on here. The Line is this giant, it's a giant line that stretches miles and miles and miles, where people are going to be imprisoned in this. It's obviously going to be marketed as an environmentally friendly place. It's a giant prison cell, because all you have to do is compare, because people look at this stuff, they're like, that's futuristic. That's cool. I don't have to pay rent. Well, do they pay rent in prison? People are like, I don't have to pay bills anymore. Well, yeah, you're technically a modern day prisoner. It's going to look different than an actual prison that we see in movies. It's going to look different than Alcatraz, but it's one and the same. And now around the Line, they're building these outdoor prisons as well, which they're showing off in this video. Keep in mind some of the talking points in the video about travel, how you'll be 40% of the population, the world population, 40%. Will be within a 6-hour flight of one another. They are squishing everybody closer and closer. This is the Tower of Babel being restructured. And they're making sure everybody is imprisoned around one another so they can have total control. And of course, they'll have free reign over the rest of the world. This city they're going to show you in here houses over 95,000 people. This is just this specific city, not to mention the actual Line. So take a look at their latest video and how close they are to making this hell a reality.
NEOM is open for business. The new future being built in Saudi Arabia to redefine business, livability, and conservation. Environmental, social, and governance is at the heart of everything we do. Our special economic zone is almost the size of Belgium and sits at the crossroads of 3 continents, providing a new destination for global trade and investment. Progress is rapid with large-scale investment, best in the world talent onboarding every day, and construction gaining pace exponentially. The Line, our city of the future, is moving forwards fast, as is our Center for Advanced and Clean Industries, Oxagon, the luxury island destination, Sindala, and the mountains of NEOM at Trojena. There are already 3,000 plus NEOM employees here from more than 90 countries, as well as more than 60,000 construction workers. Major infrastructure projects like roads, utilities, and a hospital are already built in NEOM. Some $2 billion will be invested into the port of NEOM, and the first container terminal will open in 2025. We are owned and supported by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. We have raised $6.1 billion of financing to build the world's largest green hydrogen plant to produce green ammonia at scale in 2026 through NEOM Green Hydrogen Company, a joint venture with Air Products and Aqua Power, and one of the biggest social infrastructure public-private partnerships globally, will see $5.6 billion invested into building 10 residential communities to house 95,000 people. NEOM will offer the best international standards in relation to tax, the regulatory environment, and commercial law. With access to 13% of world trade flowing through the nearby Red Sea and 40% of the globe being within a 6-hour flight. Nobody has done this before. That's why it's special. A new economic model and a beacon of change that will benefit generations to come. We invite you to join us by investing in the new future where people and planet can thrive while businesses can provide lasting impact. This is NEOM.
So one of the biggest social infrastructures that has ever been created. This is a giant FEMA camp. You could see the similarities between them. Of course, people will be under the mind control because they see stuff like this and they think it looks nice because they're like, oh, look, a soccer field, a tennis court. Oh, yeah, you know where else they have, an open recreation area? A prison cell. Is it really nice that they let the prisoners go out and play basketball for 30 minutes every day? Oh, wow. When you see that on TV, you say to yourself, well, that looks like a nightmare. But in here, they're doing the same thing. They're just telling you that it's wonderful and it's great. And in this dystopian hellhole we're living in, people see that propaganda and they're like, yeah, that does look really nice. Oh, I don't have to worry about food and paying my bills anymore. Yeah, you won't have to worry about it. They'll be giving you rations of poison, of course. They'll be giving you extra estrogen and soy so that you don't fight against this and resist, so that you accept it. And when you see all the barbed wire surrounding your little FEMA camp, your little concentration camp, when you see all the barbed wire around it, they're going to tell you it's for your protection. Okay, it's for you. It's to benefit you. Now, in this video clip I just showed you, they left out a lot of the stuff with the line. Okay, this is the same thing. So for those of you saying, I'm a little bit confused, what is this? The NEOM? Do you have this imprisonment city along with this infrastructure that they're building out the line?
For too long, humanity has existed within dysfunctional and polluted cities that ignore nature. Now, a revolution in civilization is taking place. Imagine a traditional city and consolidating its footprint, designing to protect and enhance nature. The line will be home to 9 million residents and will be built with a footprint of just 34 square kilometers. And we are designing it to provide a healthier, more sustainable quality of life. The line's communities are organized in 3 dimensions. Residents have access to all their daily needs within 5-minute walk neighborhoods. And the line's infrastructure makes it possible to travel end to end in 20 minutes with no need for cars, resulting in 0 carbon emissions. By leveraging AI technology, services are autonomous, saving you time and effort. Designed by world-leading architects, the line is 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, 170 kilometers long, and housed within an elegant mirror glass facade. Intelligent solutions create efficiency and year-round temperate microclimate with natural ventilation. Energy and water supplies are 100% renewable. The line is designed as a series of unique communities offering a wealth of amenities, providing equitable views and immediate access to the surrounding nature. With 40% of the world accessible within 6 hours, at the heart of the globe's key trade routes, a place for commerce and communities to thrive like nothing on earth seen before. The Line, the city that delivers new.
So this is all done by these same globalists. This is globalists. They're telling you that this thing is going to be the size of Belgium, a prison the size of Belgium, and it's going to expand. But just remember, they might say, well, how are they going to fit all the citizens of the world inside of Belgium? Well, obviously, there are going to be multiple of these things, right? We're going to start out with one, it's going to expand, etc. But the amount of space that you have is going to be like 100 square feet for each cell. Okay, you're literally going to be crammed in like a sardine where your office and your bedroom and your kitchen, they're all going to be in this, and everyone's going to be like, oh, this is great. And it's the equivalent of a prison cell with a different spin on it, right? You look at a prison cell with the toilet, it's the same size. The only difference is what? You get a desk? Is that what you want? You want not to have free range anymore over this world, this beautiful earth, I should say, that God created? These people are literally going to be locking us up. So all the conflict you see going on in the world that they're creating, they're doing it by design. They're doing it by design to destroy the infrastructures of the governments around the world. Then they're going to bring in peace and they're going to bring in unity and everybody's, once they bring poverty onto everyone, which they're currently doing by design, specifically in America. Nobody's suspicious with inflation yet. I mean, obviously conservatives are. The libs are like, yeah, but it's better than anything that Trump, because they're still under mind control. But anyway, they're going to bring everybody into poverty. And they're going to cut the food supply, etc. So they're going to lure you into these things by telling you all these great things about it. Look, there's a pool, they're going to say, right? People are like, wow, why do you think they also chose this location? Not only because, oh, wow, they could trick you into the oceans that surround it as if you're going to be swimming in it. You might get an hour recess a month, right? They're going to, so people see it, they're like, oh, it's so beautiful there. I want to go there. There's a pool, etc., right? It's this imprisonment camp is what it is. But they're also using other methods that people don't realize. They're putting this out in the middle of the desert because you're not going to be able to escape. Where do you think you're going to go? Huh? You think if you actually realize how to escape this thing, and don't forget the predictive programming I've covered over the years. There's tons of movies with this type of predictive programming where people are trapped in these camps and they can't get out. And they see the whole world in the distance and they're like, I want to get out and see what's out there. What's out there? What's behind the wall, right? It's the same thing. That's what it's going to be. So when you're imprisoned in here, keep in mind, if you do figure out how to get out, say you could get past the security guards that are supposedly protecting people from coming in and bothering you, or they're really keeping you. These are the illusions they're going to use, okay? They're keeping you trapped in there. They're going to tell people that it's for their protection. They're like, wow, we have security. We have to worry about violence. You're not allowed to leave. And if you do get out, I hope you like crossing this, crossing over the desert for hundreds of miles, because you'll die if you get free. You're in the middle of nowhere. You'll be crawling through the sand, dying of dehydration within hours. So this is all done by design. There is no escape from this. But they don't tell you that because they put wonderful music behind it. They tell you it's futuristic. They make it look futuristic. They tell you it's for your benefit. They tell you that it's safe. They tell you that it's environmentally friendly. That's one of the keys here, because the suckers that are born every minute out there have just bought into this climate agenda. It's so unbelievable. And they're like, they can't wrap their heads around it. And they think that you're either dumb or you're alpha male if you're against the climate stuff. They don't realize that they manipulate the weather, and the whole climate structure, the whole climate change structure is to enslave you. It's about a carbon footprint, taxing you on carbon. People are like, what does that mean? That doesn't sound like it makes any sense. It means every movement that you make is going to be monitored and tracked. And this isn't one of those things where you can go, well, I don't care if they monitor and track. It's not about that necessarily. You're only going to be allowed to walk X amount of steps. They've been conditioning people with all these devices like the iFit, where they track and monitor your steps. That's by design, okay? Because with their carbon footprint, you're only going to be allowed to go a certain distance every day. You're only going to be allowed to go a certain distance every month. They're going to give you little allowances and give you a little recess time. They might let you go to somebody else's, little FEMA prison. inside of the property line once a year, once a month. Other than that, you'll be completely trapped. And your carbon footprint is where it's at. And that's why they tie the carbon into all this stuff. Oh, it's environmentally friendly. It's environmentally. And then they make everybody feel like they're a horrible person if they don't go along with it, or really stupid. Like, you don't get what the environment's. These people don't have the slightest clue about what's actually happening here. And they're just literally walking into prison, right? Just imagine the closest prison to you. I'm sure you've driven by a prison before, maybe around your town, maybe a couple towns over. Just imagine when you drive by, you probably look and you're like, ugh, what a nightmare, right? Barbed wire, usually cold brick, right? And you just see it, you're like, ugh. Well, imagine just like going up there, knocking on the front door and going, hey, you got any rooms available, right? You'd be like, who would do that? Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're duping people into this. They're going to go, hey, I want to live in here. Do you think in reality anybody would go to a prison and go, hey, I don't even think a homeless person would. Otherwise, a homeless person would commit a crime so you could go to jail. Probably rather still be free on the streets going, hey, at least I could move around here on the streets. Might have to beg for money, might be starving. Whereas our tax money is paying for all these people in prison. But nobody's going to go up to the door, knock, and say, hey, I would love a room. Are there any vacancies at this jail? I would love to stay a couple of months, years, whatever, Oh, yeah, would you? No, you wouldn't. So what they've done is they've created this dystopian mindset where they even have the sign, I love Neom, right? Do you think if the prison had a giant sign that said, I love jail, the people would drive by and be like, I want in? It could possibly be a thing, but you're not allowed to just go sign up and go into prison. But this is what they're doing. These are little tactics they use. Ooh, I love Neom. Oh, yeah, I love it here. I love it. Taser me more. I love it. Do you mind hitting me over the face with a billy club? I love it. And they'll condition you to love it. They'll tell you that it's great and free because they'll probably be pumping in, not probably, they will be pumping in propaganda, telling you how dangerous and scary it is in the outside world with a little background music, kind of like one of those commercials you see from Big Pharma, telling you about how, oh, you're having a ED? You're having trouble getting it up? Not asking why you might have trouble from all the chemicals, etc. But then they go, hey, side effects may include, and then they ramble for about 15 minutes, every side effect you could possibly imagine while they show people on the screen holding hands at a picnic. I mean, it's a dystopia. And that's what this is. Hey, come here. And they're like, oh, they'll be like, hey, everything is great inside of here because look how scary it is out there, right? Everybody out there is crazy. They're all armed. We got to protect you from them. So we have armed guards outside to protect you, and these idiots are going to fall for it. They're going to fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. So they are moving closer and closer to making this hell a reality. This is not something that is just, hey, they're tossing this idea out there. They're doing it. They're in the middle. You saw the commercials. You saw the first one. They have hospitals ready to go. Right? These are all ploys that they're using. Oh, they have all these solar power things, right? Oh, it's all going to be free and clean energy. Of course, when you only have electricity for 1 hour a day and it's so that you can take a shower once a week, et cetera, everyone's going to be like, this is great. There's an ocean out there. Oh, can we go to the ocean? Well, if you're on good behavior once a month, we'll let you take a dip for 25 minutes. And eventually they'll be like, this is great. This is wonderful. Kind of like the same way prisoners adapt to prison life. Have you ever, I don't know, what your take is or if you've seen some, I'm sure you see prison shows. You ever see like some of these prisoners that go on trial and they'll admit to the crime and you're like, they're going to admit to it. And they're like, well, we'll give you life in prison. You won't end up getting the electric chair or whatever they do these days. Right. And I always see it and I'm like, man, like who would want to live the rest of their life in prison? But then you see stuff about how these people adapt to prison life. Like they just, after a couple months, a year, it becomes regular routine life for them. Have you ever noticed that? That's what happens to prisoners. Well, you ever hear about prisoners who leave? Remember Shawshank Redemption? The guy Brooks, he gets out of prison. He can't handle life outside of prison because he's all he knows is life inside. Right? You see prisoners who get out of prison and then they eventually commit more crimes. You're like, why are they committing a crime? They want to go back in there. Shouldn't that have taught them a lesson? Because they adapt to it. That's what people are going to do. They're going to adapt to this. And they're going to give them little things that make it seem like a resort. They're going to be like, hey, we're going to have a little gaming thing every Tuesday from 9 to 9:30. They do the same thing in prison. They have exercise outside for a half hour. They have meals. They have a little library time where they get more propaganda pumped into them. Same thing, just a different spin. That's what these are going to be. And everyone's going to fall for it because they fall for this little background music. Oh, and then they boost you up saying how good you're of a human you are for doing this for the environment. You're imprisoning yourself. And they're building these things. Guess what? They're not building these things for a movie. They're building these things to use on the human race. And the first round of these will be the first test run as they build more and more of them out. And eventually the goal is to get everybody in there. And the people who resist, it'll be like Westworld. Remember when I covered Westworld? For those of you that don't, make sure you sub to all my channels. I'll probably put that video back up on one of them. Okay, in Westworld, where like inside of these controlled cities, anybody who was like an outlander who wasn't a part of it, they would find them and monitor. Oh, they're not a part of the city. They're infiltrating our city, right? Because there's going to be people who don't go, and that'll be people like us. And they'll, oh, those are renegade. They'll have a name for us like outlanders. They'll say that they're armed, they're dangerous. You don't want to go out there. You want to stay in here. We'll protect you from them. And they're really just keeping you locked in. It's going to be a total mind flip. Just like everything going on in this world right now. How they've convinced people that men can have babies. You don't think they can convince people to imprison themselves? Of course they can. They're convincing people that men can have babies. They're convincing people that it's okay and safe and smart and a good thing to let a kid John Bob it himself. So you don't think they can convince people to imprison them? Of course they can. Of course they can. And they will. And these are the methods that they're going to use. And people won't even realize it until maybe something snaps them out of it when it's too late. And they're like, wait a minute, this is a lot like a prison cell. Oops. Well, not for people like me and you. Share this video with people so they're aware. This is not being built with billions of dollars for some type of hobby. This is a mass prison for humanity. And there's gonna be more. And they're gonna be in places where people can't escape. I wouldn't be surprised if they say, hey, we're gonna build one of these out in California. Oh, but it's not really California. It's kind of on the state line between Nevada and California. Oh, it's right in the middle of what they call Death Valley. And people will be like, oh, I've heard of that. That sounds cool. Yeah, have fun is trying to escape at 150-degree heat, because you can't. They're gonna put them in places where even if you get out, you won't survive, because you're not gonna make it back to freedom. Once you're in for life. I thank everyone for being here. Please do me that favor and subscribe to my other channels now if you haven't yet. Eye for an eye is important. This channel, United Uprising, make sure you're sub to it before you close this out. Okay, you might have seen me recommending this video on another channel or someone, but make sure you're sub to United Uprising and make sure you sub to A Call for Vengeance. I have to build that channel out. Don't ask why and what's on it. Just please subscribe to it for me. It'll have my regular content on it eventually. I thank you for being here. Share this video. And God bless all of you and your families as always.